Alrighty, I'm getting this started here. There we go. Let's see, there we go. Alright guys, give me just a second to get it all set up. You guys are very patient, so I know it's not too big of a deal. Okay, let me see. My microphone should be working. Okay. I think we're good. I think we're ready. There we go. All right, let's get our cards shuffled here, and we have our incense burning and our, let's see, lava lamp in the background. There we go. Ready? Okay, let's get this going. There we go. Camera likes to flicker in and out there. Alright guys, I was gone for a little bit. I'm going to be back now. So, yeah, actually had a lot going on. I might tell everyone when there's more people online here and get people started. But it has been a very interesting couple of weeks. And so, yeah, and hopefully this lighting here that we're trying out, we should be able to see the cards a little bit better. So, yeah, that makes the colors pop a little bit more, I think. So that's what we're going to be doing moving forward. And yeah, so let's get these shuffled and see what we got for Tuesday and Wednesday, the 28th and the 29th of September. But yeah, I hope everyone has had some good weeks. I know I did. I needed that time off. Okay. All right. Here. These ones are the hardest ones to shuffle because they're so big, but they're not too bad. They're not too bad. Hey Rada, how are you doing? Yeah, it's been a minute. It has been a minute since I've been on, but I'm doing good. I'm doing good, and actually had quite a few things going on over the couple weeks I was gone. I think it was closer to 3 weeks that I was gone. But yeah, so I started taking some depression medication to help me with my anxiety and my depression, and I needed to see how that would affect me. And so far, I feel like I'm leveling out. There were some hard moments taking it, but ultimately, I feel like it's starting to work now okay. And yeah. Hey, Kelly, how's it going? Hope everything is going well with you. So you guys may not know this, but I was, I never graduated high school. And so once I started taking my antidepressants and I started feeling like I could do something, I went and I got this right here. This is my high school completion diploma. So this right here is a GED, right? And so I went and I took the test. It took me about 4 days from starting to study to going out and getting my GED, but I did that, and that is something that I did while I was taking some time off. But I'm doing good, Kelly. I'm doing really good. Coming back here, hoping we can do some good readings. We're going to do our kind of generals first, and then go from there. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. Yeah, for me, that was an accomplishment, so I think that's pretty cool. All right, let's see what we can do here. Shuffle these a couple more times. Then we got one more deck to shuffle, and then we'll move on to the we'll move on to Tuesday's reading, and then we'll do Wednesday's reading. So let's see what we can come up with here. All right, one more. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you doing? It's been a while since I've seen you. I definitely did. And so I'm glad I finally have that done. That was something that always was kind of looming over my head. Oh, thank you, Radha. I appreciate that. Yeah, it felt good to finally get that. So I dropped out of high school when I was like 17, and I'm 32 now. And I just never went and got the rest of my education. So the GED, that was 6 hours. Yeah, I had to take 4 tests, and it was 6 hours. I mean, yeah. Wow, double pneumonia. Elizabeth, I'm so sorry to hear that. So you're feeling better now? Man, that sounds awful. I've never even heard of double pneumonia. But other than that, I am okay. Yeah, it's... that sounds like a hell of a... But other than that, I'm okay. You know what I mean? Like, some people are like... It just means in both lungs. Ooh, okay. Ooh. Pneumonia is awful. Pneumonia, yeah. I get ammonia and pneumonia mixed up. Both of them are awful for different reasons. But, yeah, pneumonia is definitely the one you don't want to have. I know that. I used to get that when I was younger. I haven't had it. Well, no, I had it a couple years ago. And then I went to the doctor and had the weirdest checkup I've ever had in my life. I might tell you that story. It's funny. He was the weirdest doctor I've ever met, and he was unprofessional, but it was in a way that was like comical. It almost seemed like he came from a parody of being a doctor, and he just like walked into the room. And anyway, maybe that's a story for another time. We'll get started with these readings here. So, but I'm glad you're feeling better too, Elizabeth. That's, man. How long did it last? Was that a couple weeks, or was that a week maybe? I know you have to be on some pretty good antibiotics. Oh, geez. Elizabeth, I'm sorry to hear that, but at least they caught it. You know what I mean? At least it was a situation where you found stuff out and it was like, now I can deal with this. 2 weeks. Wow. Wow, okay. Geez, that's a hell of a hit. At least it sounds like you're getting better. You're hopefully getting your strength back, so that's what's important, right? And you can manage the rest. I feel like you're strong enough that you can definitely manage. Have a good outlook too, a positive attitude. That's going to help tremendously. Okay, so Tuesday. Let's see here. Tuesday's reading. Let's see what we got. Boom. Boom. Hey Molly, how you doing? Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Like I was saying, I got my GED while I was away, and then because I never graduated high school, but now I got the GED, and then I started my antidepressant medication. I needed to know how that would affect me moving forward with these readings because, you know, these can be some kind of tender issues for people, right? These can be some sort of like sacred things, and I want to make sure I feel stable when I'm doing these kinds of readings. But I'm feeling better now. Yeah, thank you. I got it. I had it right here. My certificate of completion from the GED. So yeah, 6-hour test. That was, I want to say, it actually wasn't that bad. It was kind of fun. My version of having fun is probably really lame, you guys, just so you know, but for an earth sign like me, that was the most fun we can have, except for a few other things. But that primarily was it. So let's look at Tuesday and Wednesday here. Let's see what we can get. So, and please guys, feel free to talk as we're doing these readings. If you have questions, or like if you want to talk with the group and do stuff like that, please feel free to. Okay, so the first card we get, my friends, is we get the Empress card. Okay. Yes. But fun is fun, right? We put the fun in funeral, us earth signs. So we have the Empress, we have the Star card, and then we have this card here. Thank you again, Radha. You guys are awesome. Thank you. I wanted to share that with you guys because I knew you would be excited for me as well, and that's what's fun. That's what's fun about this. Okay, so we got the Empress, which is a Taurus card. Okay, that is the card of Taurus. We have the Empress right there, Taurus card. Then we have the Star card. This is Aquarius. Okay, this is an Aquarius card, and then we have Indecision in reverse. So what I feel here, something about this reading, this is for Tuesday, so this is tomorrow. It feels like there's something going on with business, is what I would say. But maybe it could be doing business with an earth sign, doing business with an air sign. But when I see the indecision in reverse, it feels like we don't know where we want to go just yet. To me, the reason I'm bringing up business is because when I see the Empress next to the Star card, it's making me think that it's going to be something that's more professional, not something that's necessarily like dating or family oriented. But there definitely is a lot of power here. So the Empress is about kind, nurturing, feminine, the divine feminine energy. And the Star card is about kind of being hopeful and waiting for things to sort of come to us. And it can also be things at a distance. So maybe on Tuesday we realize we need to do something that might be kind of difficult in a business sense for us to be able to do the thing we actually want to do. So maybe we need to get a license, or maybe we need to do something. Moving forward in some sort of career path and realizing we need to have documentation, or we need to have something along those lines. The indecision in reverse could be us not feeling like we're up to it. Boston is coming up in my head for some reason. So Boston, that's interesting. But the indecision in reverse here is making me feel like, regardless, okay, I'll put it this way, all right? You can go left, you can go right, or you can stay right where you are, right? And if we don't make a decision, it's the same as making a decision. And that part's going to mess you guys up. I'm sure it is, because it messes me up. When we don't make a decision, the universe makes one for us, regardless, right? So if we can make a decision, even if we don't know if it's good for us, it's the best thing to do is for us to try new things, to branch out of our comfort zone, and then to be like, you know what? I tried it. It didn't work. To me, that's a successful person. If someone tries something and it doesn't work, that's someone who's much more successful than someone who's tried one thing and they got success from it once, but they keep doing it for years and years. Keep trying different things. Keep trying new things, because that keeps the brain engaged. And I feel like that helps us as we're growing and we're evolving, because we have new ways of interacting with the world. So keep trying new things. Don't let something small interfere with your ability to experience life, okay? So do something that makes you uncomfortable every day. Do something that makes you uncomfortable every day, because then you can grow from that. Sometimes the thing that we're fearing that is very uncomfortable turns out to be something that's very good for us and very beneficial. When I say uncomfortable, I do not mean, running through a crowd naked. That would be uncomfortable. I don't see the benefit to that. What I mean is small steps, walking through a crowd naked. No. Like, let's say you're going to do some public speaking, right? So instead of having a big audience you speak in front of, try it with a small audience at first. Basically, try to push your comfort zone as far as you can. Try to push the boundary, and make sure if you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable, that's probably a good sign that it's something that we can use going forward. So, and another thing with growth is if you get comfortable with being uncomfortable, you're going to grow much quicker. All right, so let's look at this other pile here. And we have okay, so this is also for Tuesday's reading. We have Journey in Reverse. Okay, and it's right next to Indecision in Reverse. Kind of funny. These two cards are very interesting. I'm glad you like the jokes. So we have Journey in Reverse, and then we have Indecision in Reverse. Both of these are interesting cards. They were right next to each other the way I laid them out. So this one here, we have these. No, the camera's reverse. Jeez, I think I'd get it the second time. So we have these road signs right here, these road markers, and then we have those right here too. So to me, this is us. Okay, the way I would describe this is analysis paralysis, right? We tend to overanalyze a situation, and the more we overanalyze it, the more we get stuck in a way of thinking that is not beneficial to us. When we overanalyze something, we're not letting what naturally needs to happen. We're instead trying to contrive it and control it to make it happen in a desirable outcome for us. But sometimes, most times, the outcome that is desirable for us, the outcome that we need, is completely beyond our control. We want a certain outcome, yes, but sometimes it's not meant to be, and that has nothing to do with you failing, right? It has something to do with just how the universe is working. Life is a lot more fun and play than we think it is. I'm going to say that right now. Okay, then we have Knight of Swords. Trying to get that camera focusing. Knight of Swords. Okay. And then we have Five of Wands in reverse. So when I see Five of Wands in reverse, and then I see the Knight of Swords, tomorrow could be a day we're feeling very scattered. We're feeling very kind of like we need to approach this. I don't know. I feel like we need to approach this in a way that's very, very professionally oriented. And I feel like sometimes the professionalness can be a little too much. Like sometimes we come off as maybe rigid. I know I do. If I'm trying to be really professional, I mean, you might as well be talking to a robot, because that's my version of professional. Ask a Taurus to be professional and they turn into basically a male Siri. Is how I would describe it. But right here, I would say just tomorrow, be on the lookout for if we're being too rigid or if we're being too extreme in our way of thinking. Also, I'm going to say this, because we have the Aquarius card right here, the star card. Okay. And then over here, we have the Knight of Swords. Both of these are air signs, and both of these deal with mental energy. So if we can, and these ones aren't in reverse. I'm trying to get the camera to focus. Come on, camera. Nope. There we go. So if we can tomorrow, let's be hopeful, but let's also understand that sometimes things happen that are beyond our control, and let's not blame ourselves if something does happen, or if something doesn't happen the way we want it to. It feels like to me there could be a delay, not necessarily a stop and redirect your energy, but kind of a delay. So that could be something that could happen. So Knight of Swords, Star, the Empress. Be grounded in our approach. Let ourselves be not too serious. Don't take it too seriously. but also kind of be calm and composed at the same time. What I'm trying to say is be flexible. Be a flexible person. Be able to handle things if they change slightly. Be able to understand that sometimes that's the way things just need to be. Okay? All right, so let's move on to Wednesday. Let's see what we can come up with here. All right, one more here. Okay, so let's shuffle, and if you guys want to talk, we can talk. If not, that's okay too, but feel free to chat with me if you want to while I'm shuffling. One more shuffle for those ones. Those are kind of the bigger ones. Those ones take a minute. All right. These ones are a little smaller. Where is... You know what? I'm not really sure. But his favorite toy in the world, the male cat, Yoshi, the big gray boy. His favorite toy it's just the head of Baby Yoda. We had a loofah that we bought from Walmart, and there was a Baby Yoda thing on the loofah. We cut that off and gave it to him, and it is his favorite thing on earth. He carries it around in his mouth, and then he meows and meows and meows because he killed it, right? And he does this every night. Every night. He goes around the house and he meows, and he walks in each of the rooms. He's looking for me. And he just wants to show me what he killed, and it's always Baby Yoda, so I support that kind of murder, but nothing else. So that's just how it is with cats. They are funny little guys. Okay. One more deck to shuffle here. And we are moving on to Wednesday. It is. It's very cute. Hold on one second here. Okay. All right. It is. Rada, he's adorable. Very cute. And his meows sound different because he has it in his mouth, so when he meows, it sounds really muffled. It's pretty cute. It's very loud, but it's cute. Okay. Okay, so we are on to Wednesday. Let's look at Wednesday here. Alrighty. All right. Okay, so we have the Happy Family card. Okay. This is for Wednesday again. 7 of Wands in reverse. You'll see it's a guy holding his hand up and he's saying, wait, stop, stop. And then we have 9 of Cups. So this right here to me is saying there could be some sort of resolution with a family member on Wednesday. Maybe there's, oh, thank you. This one is... Let's see, so we have Happy Family, 7 of Wands in reverse, and 9 of Cups. So I would say there, like I was saying, there could be a resolution. Good night, Rada. Have a good one. Hello, Kyron. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. Right now I'm doing my generals, right? So this is kind of for everybody. And then after that, it's gonna be $10 for one question is usually what I charge. And then I can do some energy work too if you guys are into that as well. But primarily it's gonna be $10 one question, and I do go into detail. So if that's something you want to do, we can absolutely do that. I don't do free readings as of right now, but yeah. Okay. So, reconciliation with family on Wednesday. That could be something that happens here. Just because when I see happy family, 7 of Wands in reverse, feeling like things are coming together and we're not feeling defensive. So something could happen with family where we're not feeling as defensive. Maybe there's a get-together coming up and maybe things are said where we can hear each other and we can understand each other. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. When I see this, the 9 of Cups, it's a completion. It's almost like a completion of an emotional event, something happening, right? So this is a good card to have here. So Wednesday's going to be, it almost feels to me like it's going to be a therapeutic kind of day, like something is going to be worked through, something is going to kind of come up, something's going to be worked through. So I see that as being a really good thing right here. So reconnection, talking with family again, talking with maybe people we wouldn't think we would be communicating with, at least for a long time. So let's look at this here for the next part. And we have 5 of Wands in reverse. And then, well, yeah, you saw 5 of Wands in reverse last time, because that's what it was last time. 5 of Wands in reverse. Patience. That will focus. That's having a hard time. You can kind of see what it looks like, a little angel there. And then 9 of Wands in reverse. So we have the 7 of Wands, the 5 of Wands, and the 9 of Wands in reverse. And so what I'll say here is that Wednesday is going to be a day where there could definitely be a kind of a happy family situation. But there could also be something where maybe we have to wait a little bit longer, right? I feel like there could be resolution on Wednesday. I do feel like there could be some resolution on Wednesday with a family member. But there could also be something where maybe they need to talk to us. Maybe we need to wait for them to reach out to us and not the other way around. I'm feeling like maybe it's in their court. Maybe it's in their hands to try and reach out to us instead of us trying to reach out to them, right? So that's what I'm feeling here. When I see the patience card, it's exactly what it says. It's just being patient. It's allowing things to unfold the way they need to and not trying to force something. Because we've talked about that before. We don't force. We do not. So that's what I'm seeing here for Wednesday. Just let things play out. Let things take the course that they need to take moving forward. Because if we don't, sometimes it can bite us in the ass a little bit. Sometimes that can be the one thing that makes it a lot harder for us to understand what the universe wants to do with us, understand what the universe's plan is for us. So that's what I'm seeing here, you guys. And so have Wednesday be kind of a gentle day with family, with connection, if you can, and wait until the other person comes to you in this situation, or if it seems blatantly obvious that you need to talk to them or that something's going on, please do that, but kind of listen to the intuition and follow that moving forward. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing here. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab my my iPad real quick, and if anyone wants to do, if anyone has a question, $10 a question, and you guys can go here on Cash App or you can go on PayPal. If anyone has a question, we can answer those here. I'm not going to be online super long tonight. It's going to be 2 hours, 3 hours if it starts getting busy. So I'm not going to be doing the 5-hour lives anymore, just because that's a lot for me personally. So, oh, awesome, Molly. Good. Good, I'm glad to hear. I'm gonna go grab my iPad though. I'll be right back, guys. Okay. Oh, legs are kind of falling asleep. Okay, I'll be right back. I may be a second longer, so give me 1 second here. Let's do this. Okay, I am back. And if anyone wants to do a paid reading, we can. If not, we can chat. But the chatting will be, like, we can ask each other questions, but not in the way of, like, me doing a reading for you. But if you have a question about psychic abilities, spirituality, things like that, we can do that. But if it's a question that only pertains to you specifically, I do not answer those for free. That does cost money. So apart from that, though, if you guys want to talk, we can. But questions where you get personal answers, I do ask for compensation. All right. Okay, so moving on here. Let's see, I was reading a book. It was called, and I've mentioned it a couple times on the channel, it's really good. Kind of just started reading it. Wonder if it's even in here. I don't think it is, but it was the Psychic Witch book, which, pun intended, is really good. It's actually a really good book. It has a lot of information on how to develop psychic ability, but also how to work through spell work as well, which is really fascinating stuff, talking about the symbolism and stuff like that, because tarot, right, goes into the subconscious. It goes into the symbols, the archetypes of the different cards, right? So you have a bunch of different major arcanas, and each of those major arcanas represent a different part of the hero's journey, which represent different subconscious kind of images. So that's how the tarot works. It works through like a subconscious way. So, and there's many different ways you can read a card as well. I probably need to change up the way I read, like just to have something to be fresh in my mind. But there's a lot of ways you can read cards. Give me 1 second here. I'm actually going to take a drink. Hold on. Okay. Oh, okay, awesome. I love all the symbolism in tarot. I feel you can never learn it all. Been reading 33 years. Absolutely, Molly. And congrats on reading 33 years. I've been reading off and on for like 5 years. So 33 years right there, that's awesome. That's really good. But yeah, you'll never learn it all. And I don't think that's the point, right? It's never to learn everything we can. It's always to sort of be open to new information and new possibilities more than anything else. But there is no learning everything you can about the tarot. I think as soon as you think you've figured it out, that's when you actually have a lot more learning to do, in my opinion. We can always learn a little bit more. We can always dive a little bit deeper. And depending on what deck you use too, you can also get a lot more information. But it's, yeah, I love the tarot. I think it's incredibly fascinating. I've been looking into developing the psychic side as well. But sometimes that takes a little bit longer. And especially, I feel like for me, I have my moments where it's much more clear. And not just each card the way it sits next to another. And yes, they read differently from time to time. What one card means at one time, they mean something different another. Absolutely, and especially if the cards are next to each other. You're absolutely right. One card can change its meaning almost completely depending on the card next to it. It's almost like if one card is one paragraph to a story, the other card is another paragraph, and then you can kind of combine those two and have a bunch of different kind of situations that come up. But it's also about, being intuitive with the cards as well, and that takes practice. A lot of people wonder how you get good at reading tarot, how you do that. It's practice. That's the only thing. You have to not be afraid to mess up, quote unquote mess up. Sometimes I've had moments where I felt like I got something way off or way wrong, and it turned out to actually be right. So It really depends on how you feel reading and if it kind of flows, right? That's kind of the most important part. But it definitely takes time to learn something as complex as the tarot. But yeah, it's how do I put that? It's a good art form to study. It's a really good art form to study, to step into. And it's a way good way to learn how the soul and the subconscious likes to express itself. Oh, hold on. I'll be right back over there. I'm just going to light another incense here. One more time. Hold on. These sometimes take a minute to light, so. Hi, Jasmine. Okay, so it's $10 for one question, and then we can also do energy healing as well if that's something you're interested in. Let's see. Yes, the intuition / psychic part. The flow is everything. Very cool when you get in the zone. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. Oh, see, you can't even see them. We got this one. So we got this one, the blue lava lamp, and then next to that one, I don't know if you can see it, but this other lava lamp is like a rainbow color. Really cool. I need to find a different base for it though, because the base it has, the wiring in it is all messed up. So I need to fix that, but the lava lamps I think added kind of an interesting effect, even though I'm covering them up most of the time. Maybe I need to reposition. Oh. Okay, thank you, Jasmine. Awesome. Thank you so much. Angela, how are you doing? All right, so Jasmine, you're on the list here. You're the first one on the list. So if you want to ask a question, go right ahead. Hope everything's going well, Angela. Hanging in there. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, he's getting my... Does my ex-griffin miss me? Just recently gave birth to our daughter, but he's with someone else. Okay, let's look at that. So let's look at these cards here. I'm going to use the Energy Oracle, and then we'll clarify a little bit with the Fountain Tarot right here. That's what these cards are. So let's use the Energy Oracle, and let's see what we can find for does your ex-griffin miss you? So let's see what we can do there. And thank you, Jasmine, for stopping by and helping to support the channel. Let's see what we can do for you, my friend. Okay. Well, we would handle the same situation if we were home alone, right? If I'm home alone, I would mess with the burglars. So I can go with that. Macaulay Culkin. I can kind of see it. My uncle kind of looks like an older Macaulay Culkin. Anyway. But I can definitely see it. All right, so let's see what we got here. So, okay, so the ex-Griffin here. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of mention some stuff here. And Jasmine, if you want to, when I do my readings, I do ask questions, try to get a little bit more insight, just because when I see the cards, and this one is kind of an interesting one. So when I see the cards like this, I want to ask questions so that you're involved in the process and I'm not just talking at you. Let me know if this makes sense to you. So first card we get with the Energy Oracle is Financial Constraints in reverse. That camera wants to focus. Well, it says financial constraints. It's kind of hard for the camera to focus, apparently. So financial constraints in reverse, and then I get this card underneath that. So this is kind of like a clarifying card, and it is the Devil card, okay? So the Devil card underneath financial constraints in reverse, I'm wondering if Griffin, I'm wondering if he was someone that was kind of hard to, how would I put this? I'm wondering if maybe he was someone who had vices or he had addictions, something like that. I feel like there was things that were clouding Griffin's mind when you guys were together, right? And so that's what I'm seeing here. And when I see the financial constraints in reverse, it's making me wonder if maybe money was something that was a problem, but then later on, maybe not so much. Maybe there was other issues that came up. But the Devil card right here is making me think that there could be something, the end of the relationship, where his vices or something he was doing definitely got in the way of the relationship or of there being sort of a moving forward, if that makes sense. And Kyron, so, or Kieran, I don't know how you say your name. If you want, it's $10 a question. And if you pay the 10, then you can ask a question. If not, no. He had money issues in the beginning, but he has money now. Okay, so that makes sense, the financial constraints part. Okay, so no addictions. All right, see, this is why I'm talking with you. So the financial constraints in reverse, that makes sense. We came out of that kind of thing. The Devil card, though, is interesting because this could also be, it could also be being blind to a situation. But generally, when I see the Devil card, it's talking more about usually like addictions or vices of some sort. We'll come back to that one. We will come back to that one. Then, though, we have these other two cards, okay? I get the World in reverse, and I'll explain what that means. But then I get this card, High Priestess. The High Priestess card right here, okay? So, the World in reverse. This card to me is saying that I'm feeling like maybe it was him that didn't want to pursue the, I mean, it sounds like it was him that didn't want to pursue the relationship or was kind of running away from it or got out of it. When I see the World in reverse, it's like someone has closed the doors on themselves, right? They've closed the door on who, not who they're interacting with, but how they're interacting. So something happened where this person decided that they didn't want to be involved anymore. I get the High Priestess card right here, and we'll address your question. I'm just going into a little bit here. The High Priestess card here, for me, is I'm feeling like Okay. I'm feeling like the High Priestess card, Jasmine, was there signs beforehand that he was going to do something? Like was he acting much more colder, much more distant? I'm wondering, because when I see the High Priestess here, I'm wondering if there's some psychic ability with you, because the High Priestess card is about psychic ability. I'm wondering if maybe you have a spiritual sense about you, because that's what I'm seeing here. And so if he's closing himself off, right, which definitely, yeah, that sounds like what he's doing. I have a feeling you were intuiting into that. You kind of knew, kind of what was going on. He was distant. Okay. Okay. So let's look at the question here. So let's see. Does Griffin miss you? Let's look at that one. Because we sort of went into a backstory here, so let's look at the actual, does he miss you? I'm feeling, but now he's giving mixed signals. Okay, that's what I was going to say. I'm feeling like if he's pulling back and then he's coming forward and then he's pulling back, right? The mixed signals that you're talking about, that's not fair for you, is it? That's not fair to anybody, but especially to you, because if he has a door and he can open and come into your life and leave whenever he wants, not saying that you want that to happen, but I have a feeling this person's more selfish. Let's see here. Give me a minute here. See if we can find out. I'll show you the cards here in just a second. I'm just going to do another one right underneath this one. A little bit more. So I get 6 of Wands. Okay, I'll show you that one. Kind of hard to see because of the colors with the camera, but it looks like someone laying on their back, and it looks like a bad card. This one, though, to me, I don't see it as necessarily negative, but then I get this one, door to personal healing and happiness. So I'm feeling right now that this person, I'm feeling that they don't know what they want, is the first thing that I'm seeing here. And I'm getting a feeling of someone who wants to leave the possibilities open, is very non-committal with certain aspects of their life. And so it's kind of like, I just feel like it's hard to pin this energy down. So does he miss you? I feel like a part of him sort of misses you, right? But there's another part of him. Yeah, he told you he's unsure. There's another part of him that doesn't understand the emotional side. I feel like maybe he's more logical, you said he can be distant. So I feel like maybe he's more logical with things, and when emotions come up, it can be something that's unreasonable for this person. So I feel like there's a flip-flopping going on here. So I feel like there is missing you. I'm not feeling like that's necessarily an issue, but it's like they miss you, but then he's unsure. But there's a child with you, with him, if I'm understanding that correctly. And so that kind of, to me, means that he needs to, do the right thing. He needs to be with you. He needs to help you with the child, if that's something that you would want to have. But where there's this flip-flopping energy, it makes it kind of difficult moving forward. But I don't see that he I just feel like there's, if I can be completely honest here, I feel like he says he's still in love with me, but it doesn't make sense to me when he has a girlfriend. Absolutely. Absolutely. See? And so to me, this person, and maybe I'm wrong with this, so you can tell me if I am, but as soon as this person gets in one situation where things get a little more serious, it feels like to me this person wants to go into another situation. I feel like this person, and maybe I'm wrong, but maybe they're a serial dater, or maybe they're someone who goes out and they have a girlfriend. I feel like they're always looking at the grass is greener on the other side. So getting commitment from this person would be very difficult to do, because it seems to me that this person doesn't know what they want. And they're kind of, I guess the word would be aloof, right? But when you're aloof in these kinds of situations, when you're trying to be mysterious or you're trying to act a certain way, it comes off as very hurtful and damaging to people, right? This person needs to make a decision and stick with it. Okay, so that makes sense. Yes, we were together for 4 years, and every time I got serious, he would leave. He's left many times. Okay, so Jasmine, it seems to me that as long as you entertain the idea of kind of having this yo-yo situation, and when I say yo-yo, I mean like he wants to come back into your life and you'll accommodate that, and then he does, and then things get sort of more serious, and then he leaves, and this keeps happening. I feel like as long as you allow that kind of behavior, this person will just come and go whenever they please. That's what I'm feeling here. It doesn't feel like this person has the capacity to be in a relationship. That seems to me to be apparent. Obviously, it doesn't seem like this person has that kind of capability at this point in time. I have a feeling that this person just... There we go. That's good. That's good. I cut him off. I said, I just want to talk about our daughter. That's perfect. That's perfect. Because then it makes it so that there's no like gray area. There's no possibility of getting back together. You're being more concrete and you're being more, what's the word? More stable, more conscious of your decisions here. So I would say the way you would feel, like, okay, let me give you this as an example. Okay, Jasmine, you're someone who I feel like has a good heart, a kind heart. Someone who would probably be more expressive, more on the emotional, expressive, healthy side of things, right? And you wouldn't let this situation happen ever. If you were the guy in this situation but you still had your same consciousness, you wouldn't let this kind of situation happen, right? You wouldn't do this to someone else, but this person is doing it to you, and that's not fair to you. So cutting him off was a great call to make, because as I'm seeing it here, the way this person, I feel like, yes, they can miss you, but not in the way that it's like a productive kind of missing, like they want to be close kind of missing. It's like they feel like they're missing out, fear of missing out, right? They feel like they're missing an opportunity. I don't feel like this person has the capacity to love in the same way you would necessarily love. It just makes me wonder how he feels about his girlfriend. I'll tell you this right now, Jasmine. The way this person is with you is going to be strikingly similar to the way this person is with someone else. The person may be different, but each person that he dates or goes along with is going to re-trigger trauma in him at some point in time, and he's going to have the same kind of thing where he keeps leaving and he keeps doing his own thing, and that's going to be something he's going to keep struggling with until he confronts his trauma, probably something that happened in his childhood. But women in this person's life have triggered probably a traumatic event, is what I would say. So he would treat this new person similar to how when you guys were first dating, I would imagine. And then as things would get more serious, he's going to cut it off. He's going to not want to be in the relationship anymore. When things get more serious, the person steps back because it's like, oh, this is real. This is a real thing now. And he doesn't know how to handle that. And I'm not saying that so that we feel bad for the person, because people can figure out their own shit, right? Dad was abusive to his mom. She had an affair, traumatizing childhood. Okay, right, right. And even though that happened, and that's awful that happened, that is stuff he has to work through. Otherwise, he'll never be the person he wants to be. He resents his mom. I understand that, and I get it. I can understand that kind of thinking. But he has to focus on his traumatic issues, and he has to work through those with a therapist or with something else. Until that happens and he's getting help, I would say stay far away from this person, or communicate about your daughter only. Have that be kind of the grounds that you communicate with, because it's up to him to focus on his issues. Just like if something happened to us, it's up to us to focus on fixing our own issues, right? We can't fix him. And in fact, Jasmine, maybe you've even tried to help. Maybe you've even overextended yourself many times to try and help this person because they've had a traumatic past. They've had all this kinds of things happen, but it's up to him to fix him, right? And that's kind of what I'm seeing going forward. So to the new girlfriend, I wish her the best of luck because I don't think it's going to end well. But that's what I'm seeing here. There's not going to be a person that comes along in his life and changes him. That's not going to happen. He has to change himself. He has to. I wanted him to get therapy. Right. And I can imagine when you wanted him to get therapy, he took it as a threat. He either took it as a threat or he just didn't say anything. There's something along the lines of just not wanting to do it. Right? That's kind of the situation there. I've known a lot of men, they get very touchy when you mention therapy. And that part is, if he's distant with you, I'm going to say this right now. If he's distant with you, he's distant with himself, meaning his emotions aren't in check, meaning that this person wouldn't talk to a therapist. I wanted to, but we keep arguing about dumb things. Okay, I can understand that. So that right there is showing that his mentality it's not at that relationship level, right? You keep arguing over dumb things. So that's something that makes it kind of difficult. And if you did, I will say this, if you do mention it to him, that could be, hey, James. Awesome, James. I will look at that. I'll add you to the list here. I'm reading for Jasmine right now, but thank you for coming on the channel. We will look at that, my friend. But yeah, realize, Jasmine, that as long as you're arguing over the dumb things, right? As long as he guides the conversation to arguing over dumb things, it doesn't get more serious, and this person doesn't want that. And so they're going to keep bringing up stupid stuff, dumb things, to try and get rid of the conversation, to try and steer it in another direction. But it's not your responsibility to do anything in this situation. He could be the father he's the father of your child, right? But it doesn't mean that he gets to come in and out of your life as he pleases. And especially with your daughter, as she gets older and older, it's going to be important for her to observe her mom setting healthy boundaries with men, right? And especially with that sense right there, you need to be strong for her, and you need to set these healthy boundaries now so that she won't be in that situation when she gets older, right? Because we learn a lot from our parents. We learn a lot from how our parents interacted with us and the world around us. And so that's kind of the situation here. So if he has issues with his mom, he needs to resolve those. And it's easier a lot of the time to stay in that mindset, to stay in that victim mindset where, oh, this happened to me. This is really sad. This is horrible that it happened. And it is. It's awful that it happened. That's horrible that it happened, and it shouldn't have happened, but it did, and it's up to him to clean up his own mess, so to speak. So hopefully that helps. I think you're doing the right thing with cutting him off and only talking about your daughter. I think that's a really good thing to do, because anything else with this person doesn't feel like it's going to go anywhere. It doesn't feel like there's going to be any sort of progression in the way that you're thinking. That there could be progression. It feels like this person is stunted emotionally and won't or can't meet emotional expectations. So that's what I'm seeing, Jasmine. Hopefully that's helpful. But I think you're doing the right thing. I think, and I would honestly say, Jasmine, because he's out of your life right now, I would say don't bring up the therapy thing, because that entangles you with him even more so. If you bring it up, that's going to entangle you with him even more. Right now, let's separate, right? This is my advice. You can do whatever you want to do, but I would say separate and really, really look at the whole big picture. And you're very welcome, Jasmine. But yeah. Okay. All right, James, are you still there? Okay. Crack my neck there. Oh, let's see. Okay, James, if you're still there, we can address your question. I just want to see that you're here while we're doing your reading. And thank you for the hello and welcome back. I appreciate that, my friend. All right, so James, when you tell me that you're here, then I will get started with your reading. Okay, awesome. Perfect. Okay, so let's do this. So hello and welcome back. You see me making a nice amount for my current $7,000 investment. And will I be successful in reaching my full goal with my current $7,000 investment? Thank you very much. Okay, so let's look. Okay, so we'll do two different things here. So when I say two different things, we're going to use these cards, and we're going to do two different like mini readings here, because it's, let's see, making a nice amount. Let's focus on that question first. Do I see you making a nice amount? Do I see you making a nice amount on your $7,000 investment? Okay, so I get these two cards right here. I get the Devil card. And then right underneath that one, I get the Three of Cups. So this right here is letting me know that I feel like it could take a little bit of time for you to see results on the $7,000 investment. But I see it when it starts flowing in. I feel like it's going to be good. So I would say anywhere from, I would say about 3 months would be when this starts to really move in your favor. And possibly with your 7 grand investment, I don't know if you're thinking of doing another investment, but I feel like there could be maybe 1 or 2 other investments along that same timeline that could also reach a level of fruition, but not like a stable level. So, but I am seeing that the 7 grand one, I do feel like will be successful. I don't think it's going to be wildly successful, but I feel like it will be successful. I feel like it'll make something. But let's look at this part here. So let me shuffle. Let's look at these cards here. For my current 7 grand investment. Let's see. Okay, so your other question was, and will I be successful in reaching my goal with the current 7 grand investment? So I sort of covered that here, but let's be a little more specific. So will you be, let's see, will you be successful in reaching your goal with your current 7 grand investment? So here's what I'm seeing here. So like I said, we have, okay, so we have the Father of Pentacles here. This is the King of Pentacles, which is the King of Coins, okay? King of Coins. That's a good card. That's a really good card. That means there's stuff coming in here. And even the Devil card right here, this is an earth sign, which is like the Pentacles. And so there's some stability that can come from this. The only thing that I'm thinking is I see the 10 of coins in reverse here. And when I see this in reverse, it's making me think that, so I said, I feel like about 2 or 3 months is going to be when it starts kind of making some headway, like something you would look at and be like, okay, there's something going on here. However, I do feel like it's going to take more time for it to reach a level where you would feel comfortable in maybe taking some money out, putting some in your pocket, so to speak, or reinvesting it. But when I see the 10 of coins in reverse, it's saying to me, we don't jump the gun. I feel like if you feel like you've made enough for you to kind of get out and possibly try something else, definitely do that. But if you feel like there's still more room to grow, there's still something going on, maybe leave it a little bit longer and see what happens. But the 10 of Pentacles in reverse is the only one where I'm thinking that we need to focus on why. How would I put this? I keep hearing the word fruition, so something coming to fruition, and I'm feeling like it's just going to take a bit of time. So 2 or 3 months is going to be what I'm going to say on this, and I feel like it's not going to be budging too much. But I do feel like something's going to happen where it takes off, and so in 2 or 3 months, it's the 9th month now, so 3 months from now would be another quarter. I think that's how it works, right? James, you would know that better than I do. But there could be something that happens around that time that kind of bolsters something up. But it looks to me like this is something that's been on your mind for a while when I see the Devil card, and then the Father of Pentacles. The 3 of Cups, though, this is a really good card. There could be teamwork here, so I don't know if you're working with people, maybe making them money too. I don't know if that's something you've thought about or something that you're currently doing now, but it feels to me like there can definitely be some success here, but it's just going to take, I'd say, about 2 or 3 months for there to show any signs of clear success, something you would consider successful. So, James, hopefully that helps kind of answer that question for you. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing. I don't know if you're going to come back later and watch this or if you're still here, but yeah, Yeah, that's what I'm seeing for you, James. So let it kind of build up 2 or 3 months. I'm feeling like it's more. Is it better to be as fast as 2 weeks in this? Okay, let's look. Let's look at that. So you're doing, all right. Let's look and let's see what we can come up with here. So is it better to be as fast as 2 weeks in this? Let's see. Is it better to be as fast as 2 weeks? Hey, relaxing observer. After I'm done with James reading, yeah, we can look into that for you. But I'm just doing James reading here. Welcome to the channel, relaxing observer, and take a nice relaxing seat and observe for the time being. All right, so okay, so here's what I get for you, James. So we get the four of swords, and I'll explain what that means. But you can see the lamb laying down, and then you can see the 4 swords above its head. And then I get the Son of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, another pentacle card, because this is a money question, this is a financial question, so pentacles are going to be coming up. Usually that's how it works. So 4 of swords is resting. 4 of swords is resting. I'm feeling like maybe leaving it in where it needs to go, or maybe we take it. Okay, let me put it this way. I'm getting tongue-tied here. Leaving the money in for longer, I feel would possibly yield more results, but if you need the capital and you need to take it out, I would say that could be an option. I do see the Son of Pentacles in reverse, and generally this is the Knight of Pentacles in any other deck, and when the Knight of Pentacles is in reverse, it's someone who can be an extremist with money. Not necessarily you, but maybe we're needing that money to do something else, and we're depending on it for a certain project coming up. I'm not sure if that's what's happening, but my advice would be to play it a little bit longer. The way the cards are reading here, I don't feel like 2 weeks would necessarily be the better part, but if there is another project that you're wanting to get in on, yeah, that's just what I'm seeing here. The Son of Pentacles being in reverse, and then the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. I feel like maybe, James, and I don't mean anything by this other than you can say yes or no, but do you feel like this needs to happen quickly? Do you feel like this needs to be something that happens more quickly? Is there another project you're wanting to invest in, or something else you're wanting to do with the possible gains from this money besides just putting it into another investment? That's what I'm kind of thinking of here, but you think of that, James. I will be right back, and relaxing observer, you stay there too, and I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Okay, I'm done. So no, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go. I'll be right back. So hold on 1 second, guys. Okay, so another question. Let's see. The initial investing amount, should I transfer back to account, or maybe even with some profits after I make some profits, or leave it and invest with the full amount? So what I'm feeling right here, James, is that when we can take the initial amount out, maybe with a teeny bit of profits, take it out. Maybe you invest 7,000, right, and you make 7,400 off of that $7,000 investment, or 7,200. Take out that money. But hold on. Let me read the rest of this. I'm feeling like leaving it in with the full investment amount for the 2 or 3 months would be the best idea. But if you're wanting to make a little bit of money in a shorter amount of time, 2 weeks, you could take it out. I feel like there could be a little bit of growth at that point, but I'm not seeing it being huge like we're wanting it to be, just because we do get these two cards right here. The Son of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. If these cards were not in reverse, I'd be thinking differently. But because there's a way of thinking about money where I feel like it's kind of, what's the word? It feels like we're possibly depending on it, or we're expecting it to yield results. We're expecting it to follow through. And that's great if it does. That's absolutely great if it does. But I'm feeling like there needs to be other priorities here too. Just simply because I feel like take the money out for a short-term investment, 2 weeks, like we were talking about. I do feel like leaving it in would possibly yield better results, but if you don't have the time for that, I can understand. Take what profit you can get. But I do feel like there will be a little bit of a movement in 2 weeks, but I'm not seeing any massive gains on it. Hopefully I'm wrong though, right? That's the one situation. If I'm wrong, you leave it in there for 2 weeks, I'd say go for it. And if that does happen, if maybe you make on your $7,000 investment, you make another $1,000 or $2,000, I'd say, take the 2,000 out, leave the 7,000 in, and have that be something you do. Skim off the top, so to speak, and kind of see what's going on that way. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Reach goal in 2 weeks? No, I'm not seeing. I don't feel like you're going to reach the goal in 2 weeks. I'm feeling like it's going to take longer. Just because the ten of Pentacles in reverse and the Son of Pentacles in reverse, to me it's feeling like it's going to take a little bit longer. So I feel like if we put a slowdown on it, that's going to work a little better in our favor. But I am feeling like it's going to take some more time than 2 weeks. So hopefully that helps answer that question, James. I just feel like it's going to take longer. I feel like there's going to be a little bit of progress in the 2 weeks, but there's not going to be anything what you're thinking it's going to be. But again, if I'm ever going to be wrong, I wouldn't mind being wrong about that. I want you to reach your goals. I have no reason for you not to reach it, but the way I'm seeing the cards right here, that's just the kind of news I'm delivering because it's the way the cards are laid out, and that's how I'm reading them. So, yeah, does that help answer your question, James? Okay, so you are working with your friend. All right, so maybe I'm going out on a limb here, are you wanting there to be more of a profit in a quicker amount of time so that your friend can have more confidence in your investing abilities? Is that something moving forward? You're wanting to partner with someone, or you're wanting to show someone else how to do it, or you're wanting to show that it's possible. I could understand wanting results in that kind of situation, but awesome. Your question equals answered. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. All right. So, relaxing observer, are you still there? Oh, okay. All right, relaxing observer. Perfect. So you're wondering about your abilities, because everyone does have them, but some of them develop differently. Some of them develop differently in different people. So hold on. Ooh, right there. Perfect. Relaxing Observer donated. Perfect. And thank you for the donation too. I appreciate that. Okay. So the main thing moving forward, and I'm going to do this really quick. Hold on one second. So with the name, like Relaxing Observer, I can already tell right there that claircognizance is probably going to be your main way of communicating. Claircognizance is okay, so Relaxing Observer, how much do you know what claircognizance is? I'm curious what level you're at so that I can speak to you in a way that I'm not using terms that are like, what's he talking about? I want to know what level you're at. So do you know claircognizance and the clair abilities and stuff like that? Okay. Okay, kind of. It's like, so clairaudience is hearing, right? Claircognizance, they do kind of sound similar. Claircognizance is where information just comes into your head and you know it. It's kind of like you know it without knowing. You just do. You just know it. And it just sort of beams into your head. So I would feel like that's something where communication would happen with you, where you would just know something, or you would have an instinct, you would have a sense about something, and it would be correct. But it's not using necessarily any of the other clairs, but it just sort of comes in. So that's what I'm feeling right there. The other thing is, so as I'm talking about this, I'm feeling pressure in my head, and especially kind of right where the third eye would be. So I do feel like clairvoyance would also be something that you would have, but I do feel like claircognizance would be a more, let me put it this way. When we're developing our psychic abilities, we have them. We do have all of them, but to different degrees and to different abilities and to different levels, right? And so the way I would describe a primary ability is it's an ability that's stronger than your other abilities. It doesn't mean that your other abilities aren't there, but your primary ability is one that I feel like is the stronger of the other abilities. Okay, hopefully that's making sense. So claircognizance, clear thought is basically what it would be. It would be thought from the spirit realm, but you know it to be true. You can't explain it necessarily, but you have a strong feeling that it's correct, that it's right. Perfect example would be this. Okay, I'm doing a reading for somebody. I'm still growing as a psychic and as a medium, but if I'm doing a reading for somebody and I'm talking to them and I'm like, you had a brother that was 27 years old that passed from this, okay, some of that or most of that information could have come from claircognizance. It could have literally just come from the ether, and I was able to pick that up because that information was making itself known. So that's kind of where claircognizance can come in. It's kind of like knowing something about a person or knowing something about a situation without necessarily experiencing it firsthand. Now, that being said, for some reason the word parent came into my head, and so I'm wondering if maybe your mom or your dad or possibly a grandmother or grandfather, I'm wondering if they were into the psychic realm, or if there was something in the family of the psychic kind of connotation, something like that. If I'm wrong on that, that's okay. Like I said, I'm still learning, but I did hear the word parent or maybe a grandparent. So, do you have anyone in the family that's been into psychic or witch or the occult in any way besides you? Your mom is very intuitive. Okay. So your mom, unless I'm mistaken, I feel like your mom tunes in more in an emotional sense, right? She can understand emotions more. I feel like she's heart based when I'm feeling like there's a connection there. So I feel like there's something there where you can connect with people and through the heart kind of way. And when I say heart, what I'm talking about is connecting with people through an emotional connection or being able to create a connection, right? So if you want to imagine it like this, being able to form a bridge from your heart to someone else's heart, being able to share a connection. So clair empathy, feeling other people's emotions, that could also be one that you're working with as well. I feel like that's something your mother was also working with. Primarily, it feels like it was clair empathy, which is feeling other people's emotions, feeling other people's state of mind in a sense, but it's more of like an emotional feeling. Like, I think you understand what I'm saying. So that's what I'm feeling here. Would your mom's brother, your mom's uncle, so basically your uncle or your great uncle, was there anything there in the family with psychic ability or something like that? I'm feeling like there was something else. I could be wrong there, but it feels like there was something else in the family. And if you don't know, that's okay too, because it's, yeah. Anyway, okay, very strongly in front for seconds. Okay, perfect, perfect. But I am feeling like primarily the claircognizance is going to be good. And I know it sounds bizarre. I know it sounds really weird to say this, but in order to develop our psychic abilities, we have to sort of test them, so to speak. The only way, okay, let me put it this way. Let's say we want to get stronger, okay? We would start by gently exercising, and at first we would use body weight. You know, we would use our own body weight, we would exercise, and we would try to get ourselves healthy that way. We would be gentle in the process. Okay, and that's okay. That is okay that you haven't asked. It's kind of a personal thing, right? But it's also something that maybe people wouldn't share, even if they were into it. It's something where people can be private. So I can understand not asking. I just felt like there was a connection there for some reason. Let's see, what were we saying here? Give me 1 second. Okay, so I do feel like you can feel. Okay, yeah, it was about testing our abilities. So if there's any way that we want to develop these abilities or take them to the next level, the best way to do it is to put ourselves in a situation where we're kind of isolating our senses. So I believe that we have our psychic senses first, and then our physical senses have built off of our psychic senses, and then we shut off our psychic senses because we only want to believe in the physical world. So a lot of humans have gone with a purely physical route, and we can see with our physical eyes, we can hear with our physical ears. We don't need anything else, okay? So reactivating these abilities means activating our sense of sight. So if we're wanting to increase our clairvoyance, we focus on things. We relax our vision, we relax and we watch, we observe. We see how much detail we can pick up in the world. Maybe we're looking at cars and we're seeing license plates as they drive by, but it's allowing yourself to be in a situation where you can observe, right? Your name is Relaxing Observer, okay? So if you are relaxing and observing, that's a way we can increase our clairvoyance. I know it sounds like kind of common sense, but it's the same with hearing, right? So if we want to develop clairaudience, which is clear hearing, which is being able to hear spirit or being able to hear the psychic messages, if we want to develop that, we need to put ourselves in a situation where we're allowing ourselves to hear what's in the environment, what's in the foreground, what's in the background. We're allowing ourselves to observe and we're not interfering. So we're listening to the birds, we're listening to the dogs bark, the children scream, or whatever it happens to be, but we're allowing ourselves to fully be immersed in the experience. When we can be immersed in our senses and when we can be present in our senses, that helps us develop our psychic abilities further. Okay. Apart from that, doing exercises helps too, right? Working with a partner, working with other people. There's a lot of Facebook groups that talk about developing psychic abilities, that talk about developing mediumship abilities, and they can help you to develop. The best thing I can tell you to do is that if you feel nervous, if you feel self-conscious about doing this, Facebook, and I know it sounds weird, but it's a really good way for you to take your first steps, because you will be in an environment, sign up to some groups that talk about developing psychic ability and mediumship abilities, if that's what you're interested in. And everyone in that group is going to believe in psychic ability. They're going to believe in mediumship ability. And there's going to be a lot of open-minded people. And so allowing yourself to experience that and to be able to hear yeses and nos from other people, maybe you're doing video calls with people and you're just talking with them and you're trying to understand psychically what's going on. It's a really good way to get in. It's a really good way to get info and feedback, right? The one thing when we're developing as psychics and mediums is we don't want to hear the word no. We do not want to hear the word no. If we say something, we want to hear, oh, that's so correct, or oh yeah, that's great. That's describing the person or the situation perfectly. But we need to get desensitized to the word no if we're wanting to work in the psychic and the mediumistic fields, because I've worked with, I've had a few readings from some really great mediums, some really great psychics, and they've all started off being wrong at first. And I don't know why that is, but they're wrong at first. But they allow themselves, they don't lose their composure, and then they go deeper and deeper into what's called the evidence. They go deeper and deeper, and they're able to bring through things that no one else could even have any idea of knowing. And so the word no is actually meant to help us, not discourage us. But at first, for a fledgling psychic or medium that's going out into the world, it can be kind of a lot. So if we can desensitize ourselves to that, that's going to be good. What do you think of that, Relaxing Observer? Does that make sense? I know that was a lot. You're welcome, Relaxing Observer. That's what I do. I'm going to be teaching a class on developing psychic and mediumship abilities, still getting it in the works. If you're interested, you can sign up, and there's a link down below. It doesn't cost any money. It's just basically I have your email, so when I launch the classes, you would be notified. So if you're interested in that, go for it. If not, I can understand. But take your time on this road and be gentle with yourself, and just be present with your development through life and through growing as a psychic. And I think you'll do really well. I have some book recommendations as well. Would you want to hear book recommendations that you can read to learn more? Hi, Stream Riv. Yes, please, love reading. Okay, so I'll give you the recommendations. So Stream Riv, I do charge $10 per question. If it's spiritually related, it can be a little bit less, but most of the time, it's about $10 a question. So if you're up for that, we can move forward. But yeah, okay. And then my stuff is up here if you want to donate. Okay, so you love reading, Relaxing Observer, so I'll show you some books here. So, Relaxing Observer, are you wanting to develop psychic ability? Or are you wanting to develop mediumship? What kind of field would you want to go into, or do you just want to kind of learn everything? I've got some books. some recommendations. So I'll start grabbing them right now. So hold on. Let's see. And I swear I had another one. Okay, so there's 3 book recommendations. The one book is downstairs. Okay. But I think I can show it to you through this. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay. Okay, so you don't want to see spirits. They seem a bit scary, so clairaudience would be the best, I guess. Okay, so I can understand there can be some hang-ups about possibly seeing spirits or trying to understand things. It's not as scary as we think. And the best way for you to understand that fear and to kind of put it off to the side, because I was the same way, the best thing that we can do is experience it and realize that there's nothing really negative going on, right? I've had moments where I've seen spirits. I've seen them out of the corner of my eye. I've had those moments, but I don't feel creeped out. I don't feel scared. It's generally just like they're popping in to say hi or they're doing something like that. But Hollywood and a lot of other places have made spirits a very, very scary thing. And most spirits are not like that at all. Okay. Now that being said, this book right here, this is a really good one. Well, it's not wanting to. Anyway, okay, so the book I would recommend is, we have these ones. You Are Psychic. The Art of Clairvoyant Reading and Healing by Deborah Lynn Katz. Okay, this is a really, really good book. This was one I read, I think like 5 or 6 years ago, and this helped me so much. It's really a really good read, and there's exercises in here, and there's ways you can get better. And if you're looking for something that's truthful and that actually helps you develop psychic abilities, this is an amazing book. You Are Psychic, The Art of Clairvoyant Reading and Healing by Deborah Lynn Katz. Okay. And then if you're ever interested in developing mediumship, communicating with spirits, if that's ever something you're interested in, then there's also this book too. So Mediumship Mastery, The Mechanics of Receiving Spirit Communications. Okay. So this book here is really good. And this person right here, his name is, it's Stephen Herman. I was having a hard time with the name, but Stephen Herman right there. He's the author of the book, and I actually had a reading with him. I read this book, and then I had a reading with him to see if he was legit, because the book was really good. It was very, very good. And he was an amazing reader. Incredibly good. So that's something that can help as well. So Mediumship Mastery, The Ultimate Guide, The Mechanics of Receiving Spirit Communication is for mediumship, if that's something you ever want to go into. And then, again, You Are Psychic, The Art of Clairvoyant Reading and Healing by Deborah Lynn Katz is another good book. Okay. As you open yourself up to these experiences and your awareness, a lot can happen. A lot of really cool things, a lot of wonderful things can happen. But generally speaking, we want there to be change. We want there to be things that are coming up for us. So growing your psychic abilities is going to help you in more ways than just getting psychic abilities. It helps you to understand yourself better as a person. It helps you to understand the subconscious symbolic language of the universe, as abstract as that sounds. But it just helps. It just helps in general. I understand there's fear. I do understand that. I felt the same way. But as time goes on, haven't had anything happen. don't think I will, right? I haven't had anything catastrophic happen. I haven't been possessed or anything like that. So, um, okay, so there was 3 books. There's Mediumship Mastery, like I said, the You Are Psychic book. The third book is called Psychic Witch by Matt. I have it on my phone. I want to show you guys the front page. I'm on page 27. I'll just go back. Okay, so this book right here. This is pretty cool right here. So you have this phone, right? And then you can unfold the screen. You got a full screen. It's pretty cool. So we have this one here. Psychic Witch, a metaphysical guide to meditation, magic, and manifestations. And this person talks about developing psychic ability along with spell work and stuff like that. So having both of those together is super powerful and an incredibly interesting read, and the person knows what they're talking about. Really, really insightful. I feel like there was other books too, but I don't think they're up here right now, so I don't know. Trying to see if there's anything else here. Oh, thank you, Relaxing Observer. That's very kind of you. Awesome. And yeah, spirits can get up to some shenanigans. Absolutely, right? Um, I've had. Well, we can talk another time because there's different levels of these kinds of experiences, but yeah, they can scare you. They can definitely scare you. Um, I've got some thoughts on that as well, but anyway, what I said, take that, try it out, see what you think, but the reading material is going to help you tremendously. And like I said, I'm going to be starting a class. I'm going to be teaching it. I was going to be teaching it with another more seasoned psychic medium, but I'm going to have to get in contact with him and see if he's still available. He's helped the police with murder investigations. He's done that a few times, and he's someone that would really bring something to the classes. So I'm going to see if I can reach out to him and get some more information that way. But yeah, so are you into developing psychic and mediumistic abilities, James? Probably more of the psychic kind, I would imagine. Or, I haven't done it for a while, but remote viewing can be a good way to make money in the stock market as well. There was a very strong claircognizance. Awesome. Okay. So, for you kind of just know things. Is that what you're saying? You sort of have an intuition or a feeling, but it's kind of like when this information comes in, it's like you just know it. Those books I recommended, they're a really good place to start. Those books are a really good place to start. And then Facebook, I keep talking about Facebook groups, and the reason why I don't like Facebook as a platform, I just don't. I think it's old, it's outdated, there's data breaches and security stuff all the time. But when it comes to the groups that are on Facebook, there's a wide range of them. And when it comes to mediumship and psychic groups, there's a lot of them, and when you join those groups, you can practice in a non-judgmental way, right? You can learn how to develop these abilities. Yeah, remote viewing. Okay, so Oh, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've done it. There's a class. There's a few ways to learn it, but remote viewing was primarily used by. You know what? I'm not going to say the specifics because I'm probably going to get it wrong. So I'll say it this way: remote viewing can be used for stock market kinds of things, right? I know one guy who would. That's how he made money. Is he would remote view with a group of other people, and he would see if the stock ticker would go up or down, and he said he would make about $60,000 a year doing that. So, pretty good money, pretty damn good money. But also it takes time to learn this, and depending on how you learn, the information can be kind of different. So, I'm trying to think of I don't have a book that talks about remote viewing. I'll come back to that one, James. Maybe I can see if I can find something that can help in that way. But when it comes to learning these kinds of things, and this is going to sound kind of weird, we want to be as objective as possible if we're using these kinds of means, because if we have a bias or we have a way of skewing the data that we're receiving, we're going to mess it up for ourselves. So we need to be objective whenever we're viewing this kind of data. And in a remote viewing sense, you're kind of like leaning into impressions about something. So you would close your eyes, you would have a piece of paper. I'll show you something like this, okay? So, and I used to do this all the time using, so the way I haven't practiced this for probably 2 or 3 years, but what I would do, and I started getting success. I was successful about 65% of the time. And what I mean by successful is this. So I'll show you something here. So I would have Google generate a random image, right? A random image generator. And when it generated the random image before the page had loaded completely or before any pictures had come up, I would close the window, like minimize the window, and then I would try to tune into what the image was. And the way you tune into what the image is you use describers or descriptors. So, for instance, I would close my eyes and I would say, it feels like this is cold, right? It feels like there's something here and there's cold. And that's a descriptor. And then I would say, okay, and as you relax more and more and you get more comfortable, you can start to pick up more and more adjectives or descriptors. So, okay, now it's cold. We know wherever this thing is, it's a cold location. So, what else can we get from this? Okay, it feels like it's a tower. It feels like it's a tower. It feels like there's a building, right? Hey, Libby. And from feeling like it's cold and there's a tower, then we can go into some other things. Maybe we feel like it's cold, there's a tower, and then it feels like there's water, right? And when I say feels like, the more you do these exercises, the more you can understand what I'm talking about. And it's about kind of just leaning into it. So it's something you can develop. It takes a little bit of time, but it's not hard. It is any of these psychic abilities, they're not hard to develop. It takes practice, it takes dedication, but it's not hard to develop any of these. It just takes time and it takes persistence. Yeah, Libby, I'm still taking donations. I'll probably be live for another hour. But yeah, remote viewing is definitely that's a good one. That's a good one to learn. There's so many ways though that we can get psychic information. And the interesting thing is, at least for me personally, the farther the question is out, it becomes a little bit more difficult to discern, because I strongly believe that psychic ability and quantum physics are directly related. There's a correlation there big time. And so depending on how far an event is out in time, so let's say it's 6 months out. Let's say there's an event happening in 6 months. When my phone is 98% charged, or check with when it's 98% charged. Very interesting. Yeah, and that's... Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Libby. Okay, perfect. I'll add you to the list here. And that's a synchronistic sign as well. Awesome. Okay. All right, Libby. So you would be the next one in line. No, Richa Sinha. It is not free. It's... Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, though. Okay, Libby, would you want to ask your question? You're the next one up here. Let's see, so... Okay. How does Alex feel about you currently? Okay, let's look at that. All right, how does Alex feel about you currently, Libby? Let's do this. How does Alex feel about Libby currently? So we get these three cards here, and I'll go into some more depth, Libby. Here's what I get, though, okay? And I like to communicate. I like to talk as we're going. I like to have open communication. I feel like that makes it a little more interesting, a little more fun for people. But also, I get to know you guys a little bit. I get to understand what's going on a little bit more. So we have Angel of Strength. Okay, so how does he feel about you? When I see Angel of Strength, I'm feeling like maybe this person sees strength in you, or they see something they admire in you. I feel like there could be something there for sure. However, then I get this. I get this right here. Angel of Love in reverse. And then I get, and all of these are angel cards, which never happens. There are angel cards in the deck, of course, but for all of them to be angels, this is 7th Chakra Archangel Uriel, okay? The 7th chakra is the crown chakra, and it's universal source knowledge. So this person could look at you as a strong person and as an intelligent person, but when I see the Angel of Love in reverse, I'm wondering if something happened here. I'm wondering a few things, right? But a few things that I can think of is this person admires you, but maybe they're too timid to approach. So the Angel of Love being in reverse could be something where it feels like there's a softness here. But there could also be something here where maybe it's you guys are more... Maybe right now it's more of a friend kind of energy, if that makes sense. So Libby, can you tell me, when I see the Angel of Love in reverse here next to the Angel of Strength, I'm feeling like this person views you as strong as either intelligent or intuitive. So I feel like there's something here with intuition as well, because the 7th chakra archangel Uriel is definitely talking about that kind of energy. So is that making sense so far? We'll go into more detail here, but I'm just wanting to see what you're saying here. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm feeling an energy here that's interesting to me. I felt like there was a spirit or there was something around me, and I feel like the name Chris or something along those lines was around me. If that doesn't make sense to you, that's okay. I'm still developing these abilities, but it felt like that. It felt like there was something there. Okay. So when I see, and then my right arm is feeling almost numb. That's interesting. Okay, so Angel of Love in reverse. Let's look at that a little bit more. Let's see what we can come up with here. Okay. All right, so okay, so underneath Angel of Love in reverse, we have Knight of Swords in reverse, and then we have the Fountain in reverse. And I'll explain what that means, because the Fountain card, as far as I know, this is the only deck that uses the Fountain card, right? And so the Fountain card is the card of just being. When I see this in reverse, it feels like there's some insecurity here with the person. Now, this could be you, or this could be the other person. I feel like that's kind of up for debate. But when I see the Fountain in reverse, it feels like there's some shakiness here, right? That's kind of what I'm feeling. There's definitely some shakiness here with this. And, yeah. So let me look a little bit more here. And Manny, thank you so much for the donation. If you wouldn't mind kicking in another, because generally these are my rates. Okay. Oh, shoot. How do I go back? And generally I take Cashapp and PayPal too. That makes it so that if something like this happens, you know, I can give refunds. But generally this is my going rate right here. 1 question for 10, 3 questions for 25. So I usually like it if people talk to me first and then donate, because I can tell you guys how much I charge, and then it's not a, you know. Okay, so that's right so far, Libby. So let's see here. So the shakiness, there's a shakiness in expression. When there's a shakiness in expression, truth is not something that is necessarily known. I'm going to get rid of this here. Where do I go? Right there. Okay. All right. So when we have Give me 1 second here. So I'm curious here if a message came through that was more did one of you get out of a relationship that was kind of a difficult connection? That's what I'm kind of thinking here, because it feels like I don't have a cup card in front of me, but it feels like I'm seeing a cup and it's half full. So I feel like there was a relationship that possibly ended prematurely. It feels like there was a missed connection. Something happened there. I'm just curious if that makes any sense, but that's what I'm feeling. So the sense of timidness, it makes sense because it's like kind of shaky on if I want to put myself out there again, if I want to get hurt again, right? That's what I'm feeling. He walked away unexpectedly. Okay. Okay. All right, so 5th chakra. I get this card here. 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel in reverse. This card, hold on 1 second. This card to me, well, this card in general, again, it's about the angel energy here. A lot of angel energy, and I never get this. In fact, this card here, the fountain card, I never get this card. I never draw that one. These other cards I do draw, but I never draw the fountain card. So 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel in reverse, is possibly feeling like there could be a blockage in the throat chakra. And because there is a feeling of a blockage in the throat chakra, this could be hard to speak our mind. This could be hard to express how we feel, because we feel like expressing ourselves leads to vulnerability. And when we are vulnerable, we feel like people will hit us where it hurts, so to speak. And I can understand if someone walked away unexpectedly, if something's going on in that way, that it's harder for us to trust again. But that's what okay, I'm scared to reach out to him. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at this, Libby, right? So the person that walked away, the person that walked away is Alex? Or is this someone else that we're talking about? Okay. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing here. That's okay, Angel of Love in reverse. Okay, that's why that's in reverse. There was putting ourselves out there, the person walking away. So when Alex walked away, when that happened, in my opinion, right, in the way I do things usually, if someone walks away from you, that's on them, right? I feel like if he reached out to you and he made some comments or he tried to make things right, that's another thing. But if this person is walking away and they're not giving you any context or not doing anything like that, in my opinion, I feel like we stay away from that situation because we're setting ourselves up for more heartbreak. I feel like this person walked away, and that says so much about their character. Oh, thank you, Angela. When someone walks away, that says so much about their character. When they just leave, that says if things get hard or things get difficult, I'm just going to be gone. I'm not going to be there for you. And in a big way, it's the person saying, I kind of don't care what happens. I just want to get out. And that I can understand that would be hard to hear. But at the same time, he showed you that if someone walks away, and they don't say anything, that to me says so much about their character. Would you ever do that to someone, Libby? Would you ever walk away from someone and just be like, I'm gone forever and you'll never know why? Or I'm out of here? Let me put you on the list here, Angela. You'll be after Libby, who I'm reading right now. Okay, no, you wouldn't. All right. So with that being said, give me 1 second here. Hold on 1 second. Okay. All right. So, and let's do this. Okay. So with that being said, Livy, I can absolutely understand why I'm seeing the cards the way I am now. So Angel of Strength is showing that you're trying to be strong, you're trying to understand the situation. The Fountain card in reverse, the timidness, the way that we can approach this, I feel like is going to be for you, Libby, to sort of at this point in time, I would say my advice would be to move on. This Alex person, I don't feel like deserves your attention if this is how they're going to treat you, because that's not right. I do feel like that may be painful to cut someone off. That could be a possible option. But as soon as he left, he no longer was a possible option. He showed you the character that he had. And especially where there's no contact, if they just walked away, it leaves you wondering and guessing what you did wrong. And then you'll sit there and you'll ruminate over it again and again and again, because this person did not give you any clarification. They didn't give you any reason why they did what they did. And in so doing that, it's kind of like they mentally scarred you in a way. And I don't feel like that person deserves to come back in your life. Of course, you can do whatever you want, but I can understand why you would be scared to reach out, because this person just kind of left you in the cold, and I don't think that's right. I feel like you're strong. I feel like you're doing good with what you have, but this connection here, I'm feeling like will eventually dissipate in time. But that's what I'm getting with this connection. So it explains why I was seeing a lot of the angel cards too. I feel like, honestly, Libby, and maybe you resonate with this, maybe you don't. I feel like there's something here with the angel cards, or with the way you communicate. Maybe you're someone who prays, or maybe you're someone who is that. It's so hard to let go, and I don't know why. That's okay. That's okay. So, in my understanding, how I've been doing this work, when it's hard to let go and we don't know why, it's because, in my opinion, right? It's because this person, they bonded with us in such a way that when they left, it's kind of a traumatic thing. This person triggered a traumatic response in us when they left. So maybe we had a friend or a family member or a mom or dad that kind of left. There could be a fear of abandonment. And when this person left, it triggered that fear of abandonment. And when that happens, when that's triggered, we kind of lose our sense of self in that process, because it is a trauma. There's something going on there that we need to kind of address when we can. We need to sort of look within and see what's going on there. So there could be something that happened with this Alex person where they triggered a trauma response with us, and that's why it's hard to let go. because this person could have just re-triggered that trauma response. Give me 1 second, Libby, I'm coming back. So hold on 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that. I am back. Let me get comfortable here, like a bird. Hair's kind of like a bird too. But all right, so as we're talking about this, Libby, if there is something there that I said that you resonate with, there can be ways we can sort of look at this as a learning experience instead of this person confirming something about ourselves to be true, right? Because if there is a fear of abandonment, there can be a fear of not being lovable or not being loved. But this person, right, was meant to show us spots that we need to work on with ourselves, not to leave us feeling broken and hurt, but to eventually help us become whole, right? These people, as much as it sounds corny, they help us to understand ourselves so much better. They help us to understand ourselves deeper. But I can understand if it's difficult to cut off the connection. I can understand that. But eventually it does get easier, and there are some psychic exercises that you can do to help sort of cut the cord, so to speak. Literally just imagining a cord connecting him and you and cutting it or severing it with the intention of wanting to be let go, wanting to get that sense of independence and freedom back. That can be something that helps. Okay. So I can understand that. I can understand that being an issue now. So I want you to know that this person may have triggered something in you that was traumatic, but that does not mean anything. That's on that person, right? But we get to learn, we get to grow from these kinds of things. This person, this Alex person, they're never going to get to come back to this and say that they're, no amount of I'm sorry or anything like that will fix it. But for you, you get to understand that this person, well, they don't get to do any damage in your life anymore, and you can heal and you can grow from this, okay? And I understand these are some painful concepts, but I do honestly feel like, Libby, if we go back to this Alex person, or if we try to reach out, I don't feel like it's going to be a connection that's necessarily going to be a good connection. Because if he did it once, I feel like there's a possibility that he could do it again, and then it's further traumatizing you. So in my opinion, staying away from this, I feel like would be the best thing. And then healing from this as much as you can would be the best thing. When I saw the cup that was half full, right, and I saw something ending, that to me, the cup being half full was you being an optimistic person and you trying your best during a difficult time to see the best in people. And that's a beautiful thing that you can do. If you can see the best in someone, even when things are hard, even when your life hasn't been this, picture perfect movie kind of situation, I feel like there's so much optimism, there's so much positivity in you that this person, this Alex person, I don't feel like they deserved you. I honestly don't. And I feel like there's so much better for you out there, and I just don't want you to think that he was all there was, because no. Sometimes we have people in our lives that are just meant to teach us lessons, and they're usually very intimate and painful lessons. But that does not mean that we're meant to be hurt. Like I said, we can heal, we can grow, and we can become more whole as time moves on. And hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps in some way. I feel that when I'm connecting with your energy, I do feel that there's that sense. When I connected with the cup energy with you, the cups, right, in the tarot, they represent emotion. And so I do feel you are someone who sees the cup half full. I don't want you to lose that, okay? And as we heal and as we get better, as we understand this, you can look at people in a way and you can gain your confidence back, right? Because what this person did, that's not how everyone's gonna be. I can promise you that. There are certain people out there that they just don't get it. They just don't. And I feel like you need someone who does get it. You need someone in your life that does get it. And during this time in your life, you can take what you're learning now and you can apply it towards yourself. That love that you would want to give to someone else, I'd want you to give that to yourself. I'd want you to focus on yourself. Let me put it like this. The same way you would be if someone was picking on, let's say you had a child. I don't know if you do or not. Let's say you have a kid, right? That kid's 5 years old. If a stranger came up to that kid and they started like verbally abusing the child, or they started doing something to the child that wasn't appropriate, like they were hurting the child, they were doing something, you would stand up and you would say, no, and you would fight back. You would do something there. And I feel like that's the kind of person you are. I feel like when it comes to standing up for yourself, that's not necessarily something you would do, but if there was someone else that was being hurt, I feel like you would stand up and you would say something. I want you to take that energy and I want you to put that towards yourself. I want you to treat yourself like you're a 5-year-old kid that you're protecting. I want you to do that. I want you to treat yourself in that way. And I want you to understand that it's okay to have self-love and it's okay to express it, right? It's okay to be that way. But that's what I'm feeling there. And I think it's beautiful. You look for the good in people. I want you to keep doing that. So we need to take that. We need to take what we have and we need to apply it into a more positive direction. So something that can happen in this, and Angela, I swear we'll get to your questions. Okay, I'm going to be on here for a minute, but we'll get to your questions. But the thing that we can do is we need to look up sort of what's going on with us, what's kind of happening here, and we're not broken. Nothing's going on here. I'll have you know that the same way that I feel like you're someone who's like a people pleaser, right? And I can say that because I do the same thing. I've done the people pleasing and I still find myself doing it. And what that means is that we will make ourselves uncomfortable if it means that there is someone else right next to us that is comfortable. We will put ourselves out so that someone else can be comfortable. And we will constantly do that. We will look in a room of people, and if we see anyone that has a grimace on their face or looks unhappy, we feel like we failed as a person. And this comes from being the people pleaser or being someone who has to read others' expectations or feeling like we have to do that. And eventually, when we apply self-love and we learn what unconditional self-love looks like, we don't allow that kind of behavior anymore because we realize that we've adopted a trait that is no longer helping us grow. We're not broken and we're definitely not dumb, but we have patterns and we have things that we've kind of gotten stuck in, and we can definitely pull ourselves out. We can definitely put ourselves there. I'm trying not to be like that. Okay, that's good, okay? So, in the trying not to be like that, it's important to give yourself space, to give yourself time, and to be gentle during that process, because we cannot get anywhere, especially with self-love. We cannot get anywhere if we're berating ourselves. If we're saying, oh, it's so stupid I did this, or I'm so stupid I did that. We have to sort of change that inner voice, that inner dialogue into things that are more positive. And the way we do that is that in our life right now, we start setting boundaries with people. And the more boundaries we set, the more firmly we set our boundaries. And literally it's something like this, okay? I'll give you an example of a boundary. All right? So you can say something like this. A coworker comes up to you, a friend comes up to you. Let's say it's a coworker. Let's say it's someone you don't know that well, but you sort of know them. And they come up to you and they say, hey, I'm going to go out with the guys later tonight, or we're going to go to a party, we're going to do something. Would you like to come along? And then you could say no, right? But sometimes with people pleasers, we don't just say no. Sometimes we don't say no at all. Sometimes we say yes, even if it's something we don't want to do. We need to change that, and we'll change that slowly. But sometimes we'll say no, and then we'll go into explaining a whole reason why we don't want to do it, instead of just saying, I don't want to do that, I'm sorry. Or that doesn't sound like something I'm interested in, right? That's something we can develop as we move along. But I feel like your power, your personal power, definitely lies in your boundaries. And if we set those boundaries, then what's going to happen? I'll give you an insight on what's going to happen. When we set boundaries on how we want to be treated with people, on how we want to be, basically on how we want to be treated. That's what boundaries are. We say what we will and won't tolerate. And when we set firm boundaries, it makes it so that when new people enter our lives, they're going to adhere to those firm boundaries or they're going to get out. And eventually you'll find the right person because you've set up strong boundaries, and all the other weaker candidates that could be possible love interests, they'll fade away because you have firm boundaries. You're saying, I love myself enough, I respect myself enough that I want to find someone who won't leave. I want to find someone who isn't giving me these red flags. And eventually over time, when we've worked through our traumas and things that have happened, we can start to attract those kinds of people. It does take time, it does take practice, patience, gentleness, and kindness, but that's all it takes. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. That's one I always like to use. Not on the channel as much, but I do use that in my life every now and then. But there's definitely a lot of good energy around you, Libby, but these lessons, that's what they are. These are lessons that you're learning, and it's not always going to be this way. If we take what we're learning, if we take what we're going through now, and we allow ourselves to, I want you to allow yourself to feel the pain, whatever you're going through, allow yourself to feel it, cry, be upset, like get it out of you, just get it out of you. And then as time moves on, I want you to keep giving yourself that freedom of expression. I want you to keep expressing yourself. If you're having a bad day, you're having a bad day. Simple as that. And I want you to keep expressing yourself, and I want you to keep being kind to yourself. Eventually, this will fade away. And in the meantime, you can work on building up your sense of self and your sense of self-confidence. And so this can be a learning experience for sure. It's not the end. It's the way for you to begin again, but in a more positive direction, like the phoenix rising. Does that help you, Libby? Or do you feel like that was helpful? You're very welcome, Libby. Thank you so much for coming by the channel, okay? I appreciate you coming here and helping to support the channel. That was awesome, and yes, I appreciate that so much. Good, good. I'm glad it helped. That's what we're here to do on the channel, so I'm glad that helped. Okay, Angela, are you there? It's gonna move here, so let's do this one. Hopefully Angela's there. Perfect. Okay, so you did 3 questions, Angela, so if you want to, go for it. Start asking and we will address them. This is for other people. Angela, I'm going to answer your questions, but you're going to be the last one I answer tonight. So. There we go. Okay? You've been having dreams. Stephen has gotten someone pregnant. Okay. All right, let's look. Let's look and see if that's true. All right, has Stephen gotten someone pregnant? And that is your first question. Okay, okay. Let's look here. Has Stephen gotten someone pregnant? So I'm getting these cards here, and I'll show you. Just gonna move them up here. So we get, hey buddy, hey, yeah. Okay, so we get man holding a heart. Okay, and then we get these two cards right here. We get second chakra Archangel Ariel and seventh chakra Archangel Uriel in reverse. Both of these cards are in reverse. So you could be, what I'm seeing here now is that there could be the possibility that he gets someone pregnant in the future. But I'm not seeing that it's happened yet. But when I see man holding a heart, I am feeling like it could very well happen soon, but I don't feel like it's happened yet. So I'll say right now, those could be premonition dreams, right? Like it hasn't happened, but it definitely could. I'm not seeing that it won't happen though. That's the interesting part. I feel like there's a good possibility. The reason why, when I see second chakra Archangel Ariel in reverse like this, okay, that's making me think that this person, let's just say that this person, how would I say this? Okay, I don't feel like he thinks about consequences. I don't. I feel like he feels like he can get away with things. Like he can just do something and there's not going to be any consequences or repercussions, right? And so I feel like he can just do whatever he wants in that way. So I feel like, yeah, I feel like there could definitely be maybe in the next, so I'm going to say the next 3 months. I'm going to say the next 3 months, 6 weeks to 3 months. So a month and a half to 3 months. I feel like we'll know if something's going on. But I do feel like it's possible. He's been trying to get back with you. Okay. Okay. And how's that been going with you, Angela? Can you tell me? He's been trying to get back with you. So what have you been doing? What have you been doing in that process? Or what's your response been? Let me put it that way. That makes more sense. Just popping my knuckles here. Okay, a girl came up to you as okay. A girl came up to you as well and asked you about him. Okay. Feel free, Angela, if you want to go into more detail, go for it. If you don't, I understand that too, but feel free to go into more detail if that's something you want to do. And told me he was stuck on me and really loved me. Okay, so we've talked about this before, Angela. I think we've mentioned it before. So that right there is Stephen's, and I want you to think of it like this. If you've ever seen The Wizard of Oz, okay, the witch had flying monkeys that she sent after Dorothy. So that person that came up to you and asked about him and then said, you know, that he loves you and stuff like that, I'm feeling like that's Stephen's way of trying to get you to come back by using another person. Maybe she doesn't even know. But I know that he was somebody he was messing with. But I know that she was somebody he was messing with. Okay. So, yeah, that whole situation. Okay. You have your wits about you, which is really good. I feel like you're smart with this. I feel like you're doing good with this. I feel like you can see through it, is what I'm trying to say. Oh, he was upset. Okay, okay. I don't think he really wanted her to tell me. Okay, anything because of. Okay, okay. All right. Okay, I can understand that now. Okay. I think because he was trying to do. Okay. All right. I understand the situation a little better now. Makes sense. Maybe I jumped the gun on that one a little bit. He told me that she lied about it. That's what irritated me because she came up to me but lied about that part. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. All right, buddy. She came up to me and lied about that. Well, that's if we can even trust Stephen in the first place, which I don't necessarily think I trust the guy. I mean, she could be lying too, maybe, but either way you look at it, that's an interesting situation. So, as I said, I don't feel like he's gotten anyone pregnant yet, but I do feel like. Oh, you were wondering. Okay, okay. Let me look. Let's look. Well, if she gets pregnant with his child, that's. Yeah, that's not good. Because of the way she came up to me and found me, basically. Okay, okay. So because of that, things felt... Alright, I can understand that. So let's look. Let's look here. Okay. I select out of what he says what I believe. Okay? Okay, okay. I understand. So your second question, just so I understand, you're wondering if she would be the one that could possibly get pregnant. Is that correct, Angela? Because I know he's lying and exaggerating and taking stuff out. Yes, yes. It definitely sounds like that's in line with his character, for sure. Okay. No, you were just saying, okay, okay. Okay. Okay, so your second question is, what is his next actions towards you? All right. Let's look at that. Okay, here's what I'm seeing. So let's do this. So I get the Sun card. Okay. This is your second question. Let's see. What are his next actions towards you? So we get the Sun card, we get the Community card, and then we get this Angel of Love in reverse. So I have a strong feeling, his next form of action is going to be trying to convince you that he's changed in some way. I feel like he might even use other people to try and convince you that things have changed about him, or that something's going on where he has, I guess, changed. The only word I can think of is changed. But when I see the Angel of Love in reverse, I'm feeling like all of this is just to sort of get you hooked back in, so to speak. Because I don't see it being something where this person has the capacity to care for people, right? In the way that you would need, like someone to be responsible, someone to be actually kind and caring and committed. I don't feel like he's going to be doing any of that, but he's going to try to convince you that it's something he could do. I have a feeling that if he can't get you the way that he wants, I have a feeling he's going to try to use other tactics to maybe try to get you lured in, right? And I want you to be aware of this. Stephen, right? He can say whatever he wants, and it sounds like you're starting to not believe what he says, which is good. Action speaks so much louder than words, but in this case right here, this person has showed you time and time again that they're just kind of a bullshitter and they're not someone to be taken seriously. So I have a feeling he'll try to change things up so that you'll take him more seriously, but I do not feel like he's actually changed. It's just kind of an act. It's kind of a game that this person's playing. He wants to convince you that he's changed, but I don't think he has. So that's what I'm feeling like is going to be his next move. Trying to convince you that something has happened, things are different now, something's going on that way. But yeah, so that's what I'm feeling there. Just taking these here and shuffling them back in there. It feels to me like there's more and more ways that this Stephen person, right? He's trying to reel you back in. He's trying to get you I don't know. It just feels like there's just a lot of manipulation, would be the only words I can think of. I don't want that to be right, but that's what I'm seeing, right? And so I'm letting you know that's what I'm seeing. So if that does happen, you can be aware of it. Just be aware. I want you, Angela, I want you to be aware that I could say anything. I could say anything to anybody, and if they believe me off of that, that's their prerogative, right? But it's the actions that matter. It's the way the person is that matters. Right. Yes, on and off for over a year. I know you did. Or yeah. I thought it said I tried, and so I was thinking, okay. I can understand you being tired. This person doesn't sound like anyone that anyone should be involved with. I feel like this guy needs to get some counseling and some therapy, and then on top of that, just stay away from human civilization for maybe 5 or 6 years. But you are learning now. You're learning things now that I feel like are definitely going to help you moving forward. But just with him, with how he is, with how he can manipulate and kind of slither in and out of your life whenever he pleases, I feel like it doesn't sound to me like you can close the door on him completely. It sounds like he, I don't know if he works with you or he does something where you work. We've talked about it before, but it sounds like it would be hard for him to get out of your. Yes, I watch him. I'm not crazy. I have really tried with him. No, you're not crazy. You're absolutely not crazy. And I know you've tried with him, but the thing is, in a relationship, right? You've tried with him, okay? But he hasn't tried with you. You're putting in, we've talked about this, you're putting in like 99% of the work. And then when you ask him to put up 1%, he complains about it. He makes a big deal out of it, I'm sure. And so that's not fair. That's not fair to you. It's a man-child that you're dealing with. But I know you've tried. I don't doubt that you've tried. And I don't doubt that you've exhausted things. You want to talk things through. You want to do that kind of thing. But you can only do that. You can only talk things through. Okay, so he is working with you. Or no, never mind. He works with you. Okay, never mind. I was putting that in a different context. So that makes it kind of difficult to cut things off. If he works with you, you can't just go no contact because he's going to be at your job. So that makes sense. I can understand why that would be a difficult situation. Okay. So then that's going to make it hard to move forward in that way. But I feel like the best thing to do is, because me and you, Angela, we've talked before, and we've talked many times, actually. And you know that I'm not really timid with how I feel about this person. And I feel like you're a strong person. I feel like you're a very strong person. You're a very kind person, right? You avoided each other for a while. But I feel like with Steven, I feel like he knows just how to press all the sensitive areas. He knows just how to get you. Yeah, he reached out again, okay? I can understand that. And he knows just how to get you in a way where you're weak and you're vulnerable. And then he tries to sort of prey on that. And of course, he reached out again. He can yo-yo all the time. he can get out of the way, he can come back in. It does make it hard, though, to stay in a situation where yeah, if you work together, that's hard to stay out of that situation. I can understand. But I do feel like you're setting stronger boundaries, because we've talked about this. And I feel like the stronger the boundaries you set, the more, at least for a while, the more he'll push against that. Hi, Rena Denise. Hopefully I said that name right. Yeah, I'm thinking of ending it here. But if you have a question, maybe we can do that. It's $10 a question, or we can also do energy healing as well. Okay. So what's coming towards you, Angela? Let's look. Let's use these cards. Well, I'll do it this way. That's good. You've gotten a little bit better. So I'll do this. I'll go like this. So here are my prices. And then here is my Cash App and PayPal right there. So, Rena, if you want to, my Cash App and my PayPal, those are both right there. And one question is 10, 3 questions is 25. You save a little bit if you do it that way. And I do energy healing as well, if that's something you want to do. You would absolutely be my last customer if that's what you want to do. If not, completely understand. But just letting you know, okay? All right, Angela, so what's coming towards you? Let's see. Good night, Rena. You have a good one, okay? You take care. All right, so I'll go like this. All righty. What is coming towards Angela Martin? What is coming towards Angela Martin? So I get Son of Pentacles, okay. There could be an earth sign coming towards you, possibly younger than you. And there could be a connection with this person. And then I get the Six of Swords in reverse, and I'll explain that. So the thing I'm seeing right here, Angela, and I'm feeling like this is going to be... This one seems more specific, so this is interesting. I feel like it's going to be 7 weeks to 2 months. Okay, so 7 weeks to 2 months. So 49 days to about 60 days from now. I'm feeling like there's going to be an earth sign, possibly younger than you, that wants to reach out and possibly take you on a date. I feel like there's going to be a connection here. I do feel, when I see the Six of Swords in reverse, I feel like this person... I'm going to draw one more card here just so I can get more detail. Yeah, and then I get the Father of Pentacles here. So we have the Son of Pentacles, and then we have the Father of Pentacles. So the Six of Swords is the card. It's like you're searching for something. When the Six of Swords is in reverse, it could be that we're having a hard time finding something. So there could be someone coming in about 7 weeks to 2 months that will want to offer us something. It could be a relationship. That's what it's looking like to me. But it could also be something where this person comes in and they help us kind of discover parts of ourself, if that makes sense. I talked to another Virgo who is a year younger. Okay. Okay, so you do talk to another... Okay, that makes sense. Does this person... I'm not... The only card I'm getting that's in reverse is the Six of Swords, which is a card of searching. So I'm wondering right here with this kind of energy, what do you feel with this Virgo? Is he like financially well off? When I'm seeing two pentacle cards and they're kind of stronger pentacle cards, I'm wondering if this person is more secure financially. But also, I'm curious what your connection with him is like. Because it feels like it's going to take some time before anything happens. I'm not saying this person's like the best thing, but I'm not saying they're the worst thing. Right now, I'm just saying that they could be a thing, right? You don't know? Okay, don't know if it'll go anywhere. I would say, honestly, what I would do in this kind of situation, Angela, the whole thing with Steven, I would let yourself recover from that as much as possible. And then kind of this other situation with this new person, this Virgo person, there could be a connection here, but maybe when this person reaches out and there could be more of a connection, maybe you're still in a recovery period, or maybe you're still learning something. So it could be that this person could be a good connection for you, but it could be that you're still going through something with Steven or with people in general. I don't know if you ever get, Angela, I don't know if you ever get people burnout, where you just want to be alone for, it can be quite a long time. Like you just don't want anything to do with people for a while. I don't know if that's something you go through. That's something I go through. But I would just say the next, like I said, 7 weeks to 2 months, let yourself experience what life has to offer, and don't try to put labels on anything at first. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking you need to recover from Steven. I do feel like something can happen here with an earth sign in the next, like I said, 7 weeks, 2 months, not 6 months. I was going to say 6 months. 7 weeks, 2 months. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, give it some time. Yeah, you're there now, actually. Okay, I understand that. Let yourself experience that, like fully embrace it, be in that. Let yourself feel all of the things you need to feel, and then you'll come back to center eventually and be able to understand things a little bit better. But for now, it's important for you to take some time for you. That's going to be a hugely important thing. So let yourself recover. I feel like from the, let's see, I'm going to say October to probably January for you, we're going to be focusing more on you getting into a place where you're more grounded and you're more centered, so that things like Steven don't throw you off kilter, right? That's what I'm seeing. And I understand not wanting to be around people. I get it. Trust me, I am an introvert, That is something I completely understand. But hopefully this gives you some insight, and the start, I'm going to say around the end of January for next year, I feel like you're going to be coming into a place that's going to be a lot more, like I said, you're going to feel more centered, you're going to feel more grounded, but keep establishing boundaries like you've been doing, and keep protecting yourself. Keep viewing yourself as a very valuable resource, and people need to be close to you in order to be in your graces, so to speak. You need to be vocal about that. So, and I know you have been. You've been doing better with that, so that's good. You are so welcome, Angela. Thank you for stopping by. I'll be live again on Wednesday if you have any questions. But yeah, thank you so much, and I will talk to you when I see you next time, okay? All right, everybody, toodaloo, and have a good night, guys. See you, everybody.